Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a semi-in-depth look into the Ursa Mini 4.6K. If you're looking for a verdict and a summary review, click here for my short no-nonsense review. Now, with that said, let's get right to it. So first off, thanks to the lovely guys at Peck for letting me borrow their new Ursa Mini on the first week that they got it, to really let me take it through its paces to answer all your questions that you have asked through social media. If you have not heard of it yet, the Ursa Mini 4.6K is BlackMagic's newest flagship camera that is boasting some new incredible features for its price range, such as 15 stops of dynamic range, slow motion, but most importantly, the ability to shoot RAW. Slowly but surely, it's showing off its potential and changing the lower end of the market. Not only that, but it's only £3,800 for the body alone on release, and it's being compared to the likes of Red and Arri. When I first got my hands on the camera, I was a little bit dubious, as I have never really liked BlackMagic, as I feel they have a tendency of leaving silly, stupid little mistakes in their older product range. Most notable being the 6 to 10 minute batteries of the pocket camera and the black spot issue of their first batch of cinema cameras. So I came into this review with quite a negative outlook of BlackMagic. First off, what I did not like. At the start, I was not keen on the shoulder mount or the EVF. I found the shoulder mount quite uncomfortable, and it has no slant to compensate for your shoulder. Plus, the grip arm is far too short. My wrist and arm would hurt after shooting for any time longer than a minute. However, I did get used to it and just propped the back of the shoulder mount on my chest to make things work. A longer grip arm or using a Rosetta mount on a 15mm rod to hold the grip handle could make a potentially easy fix. As for the EVF, it's about an 8 out of 10. It shows some pretty good detail even in the highlights. However, it does still feel like the screen is that little bit too far off in the distance for me. Having said that, there are some great features that the EVF brings. First, it's solid. It gives you a sturdy top handle. It has a nice quick menu system, plus 3 more buttons that you can configure to do whatever you want with. Plus, the EVF is focusable for those wearing glasses. Now, to the camera. First question anyone has about almost any camera is the noise, or its low light capability. And especially for the Ursa product range, due to the infamous pattern noise. First off, the Ursa Mini 4.6K has a completely different sensor compared to the Ursa and the Ursa Mini 4K, with a native ISO of 800, which I would say is 90% noise-free. Only if you seriously push the footage will you get some nasty noise at ISO 800. And yes, it is patterned noise. But hold on, this is not the terrible pattern noise like before. The noise is 100% workable, as long as you know how to shoot correctly and don't push the footage around ridiculously in post. Now with low light comes dynamic range, and I have to say the Ursa Mini 4.6K really did not fail to deliver. It boasts a dynamic range of a whopping 15 stops. However, through my testing, I would say it's more around 12 to 13 stops of usable range, which is still incredible. However, to get the most from the camera, there are 2 things you need to know about the 4.6K. First, it's begging to be graded and edited on DaVinci Resolve, which by the way, you get a free copy with the camera. Secondly, is that if you really want all 15 stops of dynamic range, the camera is a beast in highlights. So it's better to slightly overexpose and then bring it down in post than to bring the darks up, as this is where you're going to introduce the visible patterned noise. Now let's talk color. Yes, the camera is slightly magenta, but I keep getting told I must have a faulty camera and there shouldn't be a tint. I'm also told there is some type of process to send it back to BlackMagic to then get it fixed, but I'm reviewing the camera as it is. Plus, it's nothing really that bad to worry about. You're now shooting in RAW. You can sort any color issues in post, and it's super easy to fix. Speaking about RAW, lots of you were very interested in a RAW versus 3:1 versus 4:1. Here are a couple of shots of the exact same grade, but shot on different codecs. BlackMagic has done well here, and as you can see, you lose very little detail in the highlights and in the blacks. But it does make the file sizes a lot more manageable, giving you around double the recording time. Now let's get to one of my favorites, slow motion. A feature I truly love is the 2K 120 FPS RAW shooting, which I could simply not get enough of. Yes, there's quite a bit of a crop on the sensor, but you have to remember that you are shooting RAW at 120 FPS, and for me, it gives it a pardon for the cropping. Other features the camera has is the ability to use custom created LUTs that you can make in DaVinci Resolve and import in. There are two XLR inputs. I'm going to quickly shut up now and let you hear the Ursa Mini preamps versus the Zoom H4n. This is an Ursa Mini 4.6K audio test through the XLR ins. Harvard sentences, list 1. The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. Glue the sheets to the dark blue background. It's easy to tell the depth of a well. These days, a chicken leg is a rare dish. Rice is often served in round bowls. The juice of lemons makes fine punch. The box was thrown beside the parked truck. The hogs were fed chopped corn and garbage. 4 hours of steady work faced us. Large size in stockings is hard to sell. I'm now going to be doing the exact same test 1 meter from the microphone using the H4n. Harvard sentences, list 1. The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. Glue the sheets to the dark blue background. It's easy to tell the depth of a well. These days, a chicken leg is a rare dish. Rice is often served in round bowls. The juice of lemons makes fine punch. The box was thrown beside the parked truck. The hogs were fed chopped corn and garbage. 4 hours of steady work faced us. Large size in stockings is hard to sell. Harvard sentences, list 1. The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. Glue the sheets to the dark blue background. It's easy to tell the depth of a well. These days, a chicken leg is a rare dish. Rice is often served in round bowls. The juice of lemons makes fine punch. The box was thrown beside the parked truck. The hogs were fed chopped corn and garbage. 4 hours of steady work faced us. Large size in stockings is hard to sell. A few little things to keep in mind is that the 4.6K does have rolling shutter, but I would compare it to about the same amount as a Red. Weight-wise, it's hardly anything, and you can easily mount it onto a gimbal that has extensions to accommodate the V-Lock battery. So here it comes, the verdict. Straight off the bat, I need to say that this is not a camera for everyone, and not for every situation. The largest downside I found was the workflow of this camera, as it creates some serious file sizes. And let's be honest here, if you're getting this camera, it would be silly not to shoot in RAW. The files took me so much by surprise that I had to get a new hard drive just to store all the footage of this review, which came to around 1.2 terabytes. But in all honesty, it just reminds me of my professional production roles, and that's it. This camera is for creatives that are looking for professional production quality at a fraction of the price. I've been finding it really hard to review this camera, as everyone is comparing it to Reds and even Alexas. Those are £15,000 to £40,000 plus cameras once they're all fully built. This camera is only £3,800 and £6,000 at an extreme push. I really wanted to leave this open to let you make your own decision, but I'm going to leave you with this. It takes quite a bit for me to be convinced to invest in a new camera, never mind in a brand that I don't like. But in all seriousness, I'm thinking about making this my new production camera. Anyway guys, I hope that helped and answered a few of your questions. Let me know what you think of the Ursa 4.6K in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and let's get creative.